An audio presentation of Through the Eyes of Finnan Frederick, also known as The Book of Finn. The Book of Finn is a series of 3 novels, Book 1, Book 2, Book 3. Book 1 is titled, I Love You Today, I Will Love You Tomorrow. Book 2 is titled, I Love You Today, I Will Love You Always. Book 3 is titled, I Love You Today, I Will Love You Forever. Read by the author, Tracy R.L. O'Flaherty. This is shared with deep appreciation of all the goodness and the oneness. The copyright number is 1126935, but please feel free to share. Thank you. Introduction. The pages that you are about to hear have been written for you to embrace love in our everyday lives. The words remind us of our own beauty, our own creativity and imagination. The words represent family and friends, strangers and acquaintances. Each word was written for you to discover that you hold your own miracles, that you are a miracle as each of us walk with love to extend. With a loving heart, one can hear the brilliance of all. Soak in the sunshine. Feel that you are as brilliant as the rays that shine upon you. You twinkle and shine like each star to wish upon, and you are the wisdom of the moon. The story was written for you to discover your miracles and your greatness. The story is yours to hold, for we are all Finnan Frederick. We are love. From my heart to your heart, you are a miracle, creating miracles. Book 3, Chapter 1, Playground. As Charles and I gaze out into the playground, it is noticeable how young everyone looks. We are in grade 6, the oldest students in the school. Next year, we will be going into high school. So for this year, we are the oldest among everyone else. I feel older, Finn, Charles says with a whisper. I do too, Charles. We were that young once. Remember the first day we met? I was timid to talk with you, but I knew my mom's cookies would help. Oh, Finn, your mom still makes the best cookies, and yes, you did have cookies in hand. Therefore, it was easy to invite you to sit down, Charles says with a wink. I've eaten so many of your mom's cookies since then. As we stare out into the playground, I can see Limerick entering the gate. There's Limerick, Charles, I say, pointing in her direction. Ben, don't point. I don't want her to think I'm looking for her. But you are looking for her, I reply with a playful voice, knowing Charles has the biggest crush on her. Charles has grown over 2 inches during the summer. He has a very distinguished look about him now. His hair flows along his forehead, and when he pulls it back, usually while he is thinking, it always falls into perfect position. My hair doesn't do anything that handsome or dramatic. My hair just sort of stands up on its own. I like it though. I think I am unique. I wave at Limerick to indicate we are at our usual place on the bench. She waves back with a big smile and walks towards us. Here she comes, I say as I nudge Charles with my elbow. Finn, stop. Hello, Finnan. Hello, Charles, Limerick says as she approaches the bench. Her voice is clear and pretty sounding. I think that has a lot to do with her Irish accent. Hello, Limerick, I say as I move over, allowing her to sit between Charles and I. Charles looks at Limerick and sighs. Hello, Limerick, he says with a deep voice. How was your weekend? It was very nice. We did a lot of work in our backyard. Me too, I declare. My brother is still training Sky Charles to do amazing tricks, but he keeps leaving his pretend circus tent outside. We all laugh. We know that the little dog, Sky Charles, can do amazing tricks on his own. But my little brother insists that he is the ringmaster of a great circus. He has trained Sky to do the jumps, It is entertaining, and it keeps my brother and Sky busy for my mom. As we start making sand circles with our feet, we notice we've all started at the same time. Is it just me, or does everyone look much younger than we are? Limerick asks as she gazes outward towards the swings. We were just saying that. Charles and I were in grade 4 when we met, and grade 5 when we met you. For some reason, it does feel like we grew older over the summer. Charles grew at least 2 inches. Limerick blushes and says that she hadn't noticed. I think I grew at least 1 inch. Well, I hope so. I keep measuring my height in hopes of growing taller. The bell rings and we get up to make our way to class. I can sense that Charles wants to have some time alone with Limerick. I will meet you in class, I say as I pick up my pace. Once in the classroom, we have our grade 5 teacher again. It is a great thing to have Mr. Willis once again. He makes learning a lot of fun and I get really good grades. I do think that this will be my best year in all my public school years. Since it's all the same students, no new students have arrived, and no one has moved away, we've just automatically claimed our old seating positions upon entering our new classroom. As always, Charles has the seat next to the window, but I can see he now looks at Limerick more than the trees outside. Good morning, everyone, Mr. Willis announces as he stands at the front of the class. Did everyone have a good weekend? All the students say good morning and answer yes to having a good weekend, except for one, a boy in the back of the room. Baxter, my teacher asks in a soft tone, did you have a good weekend? Baxter looks straight ahead. It is obvious he is troubled. Yes, sir, it was okay. Mr. Willis looks at him in silence for a few seconds. He can sense Baxter isn't being truthful. Okay, everyone, please take out your geography books. Geography, first thing on a Monday morning, will wake up your brain, he says with a cheery smile. He stands at the front of the classroom and reaches up to pull down the world map. It is the first time the map has been revealed in grade 6. I hope it is the same map as the one in the grade 4 and grade 5 classrooms. Mr. Willis reaches up, and as he pulls it down like rolling a blind on a window, I can see it. Yellow Italy. My heart is at ease. Yellow Italy. There it was, staring at me, calling me to peacefulness. I chuckle to myself because I think if my friends knew what I thought about the world map, they would laugh too. Okay, who wants to come up and point out a few places? Charles raises his hand. Mr. Willis calls him up to the front of the room. Okay, Charles, he says, handing him a pointer stick. Please show us Canada. Everyone starts giggling because Canada is very large. It's here, Charles says confidently as he outlines Canada with the stick. Okay, please show us the United States, Mr. Willis asks, and again chuckles and good fun are made. It's here, Mr. Willis, and he outlines the map very dramatically, knowing he has an audience. Okay, now can anyone show me Italy, Mr. Willis declares. As Charles walks back to his seat, Baxter and I both raise our hands. Baxter, can you show us where Italy is? I am disappointed because I know where it is and I want to share that I do. Baxter stands up slowly. He is much taller than Charles and has a very serious face most of the time, but I can sense he has a really big heart. Perhaps he is just misunderstood. He takes a pointer stick in hand and outlines Italy. He says, it's the color that stands out. I can't believe it. Baxter sees yellow Italy like I can. From the back of the room, yellow Italy stands out like no other place. Wow, Baxter knows what I have been talking about. I guess not everyone would laugh if they knew how much I look at yellow Italy. Baxter stands, waiting for another place to point out. Mr. Willis asks him if he would like to show the class a place on the map. Baxter only stands back and studies the map. It seems to take forever, and it becomes sort of awkward as he just stares. "Baxter, are you okay?" Mr. Willis asks. Baxter shrugs his shoulders and asks if he can be excused. Mr. Willis extends his hand to take the pointer stick, places his other hand on his shoulder and says, "Of course, Baxter, you may be excused." Baxter walks back to his seat. It is obvious that something is troubling him. We continue on with geography, then math, and finally it is lunch. My favorite time of day because my mom makes really good lunches. We meet up in the lunchroom before heading out to the bench. "Maybe we should ask Baxter to sit with us," Charles says to Limerick and I. "That would be good with me," I say, and Limerick nods in agreement. Charles stands up and walks over to Baxter, who is sitting by himself. "Would you like to sit with us?" Charles asks as he brushes back his hair. Baxter looks with confusion as he glances over at our table. "Sure," he says, "that would be nice." When Baxter stands, it is really noticeable how much taller he is next to Charles. I'm going to look short next to these two. "Hello," Limerick says. I follow her lead by adding, "Please join us." I pull out the chair next to me. Charles and Limerick take their seats side by side and opposite to me, as usual. Baxter sits down and places his lunch on the table. It is neatly arranged, and it shows that love was put into making it. "My mom fusses over me," Baxter declares. We all grin, and Charles says, "Wait until you get to have one of Finnan's mom's cookies, or Limerick's mother's homemade cinnamon buns. That's why I keep these two as my best friends. Their moms can really cook." We start to laugh. Just then, Baxter reaches into the bag holding the lunch and pulls out a very large sandwich. The sandwich looks so delicious. My mom is known for her sandwich making abilities. We all smile, and the conversation flows.